Hey there, angry faithful. I just wanted to drop in, bend your ear a little bit, get your attention. So if you're not listening, drop what you're doing and pay attention to me because I'm here to inform you that not only can you get your daily, maybe if you're binging it, I'm not sure, that's entirely up to you, but you can multiply your doses of angry me fuckery by paying attention to all of the platforms upon which you can find either the dulcet tones of my voice and David's voice or my pretty face and David's not so pretty face. Anyways, digressing, we not only we are on YouTube, we are on Spotify, we're on Rumble, we're on Google, Apple Podcast. We have a TikTok page. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and of course Facebook. So if you find yourself fuckery deprived, curl up with a nice hot mug of shut the fuck up and just listen. Open those ear holes and be prepared to be cream pied like it's the first time. Thanks for listening.
Welcome, angry faithful. Today we're going to talk about the interesting and grueling sport of chess boxing. Yes, I just found this out. Did a little research. Basically, what the dudes do is they play chess and they box. They have like a chessboard on the side. They play chess. Whoever wins by checkmate or knockout wins.
Oh no. Dude, now you've got me looking up weird sports, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've seen this played on the collegiate level. I kid you not, because a couple years ago, went over here to Hopkins Field, right? The baseball field by the stadium.
Yeah.
And they were having collegiate Quidditch matches.
Quidditch.
Harry Potter.
Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah. They do that all the time. You didn't know that?
Right. And
I just forgot
like,
the name. I honestly, I just forgot the name, but they actually, they have like actual matches. It's interesting.
Okay, so here's another one. And I'm going to do some homework on this one because I really kind of want to dive into it next week. Dodgeball. It's an unusual sport combining dodgeball and paintball. You like adrenaline? Dodgeball is a sport where you have to eliminate the entire opposing field on a field containing obstacles. Your goal may be to steal the enemy's flags, steal players from the opposing team, or depending on the mode, eliminating an opponent can be done by touching it with an arrow that you threw. A good way to achieve your dream and look like Katniss Everdeen in real life. In Quebec, you can play with a business situated in Montreal City called Dodgeball. And then they've got like this whole website. So I'm like, But if you're throwing the arrow, where does the bow come in?
I don't know.
I really want to do.
Why don't you just play paintball?
I want to learn about.
Okay. It sounds just like paintball.
You know, you get these bow hunters.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, we hunt with a bow because it shits harder. You know, it's like, okay.
No, you should try like spear hunting.
Yeah. Okay.
Someone told me that. He was like, I do spear hunting. I was like, bullshit. It's like, no.
Right. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna kind of skip over the baseball news this week just because really there's nothing terribly exciting going on. I mean, we're right smack dab. I mean, the season's a little more than a month old, but I mean, there's no kind of like jump out and grab you type headlines like with the Trevor Bauer situation last week.
Yeah. You keep on talking, bro. I'm gonna see if there's actually any sports news. I working now in the little thing that Jimmy had. I was trying to help him out.
Okay. Well,
today.
I am gonna talk about NASCAR. Okay. I have stated on more than one occasion on our show, and if you'll notice, with the exception of here, there's a decided lack of shit on my wall now. It's because I'm in the process of packing up. So yeah, there's a box behind me. There's an open closet over there. I mean, my walls are starting to become bare, and it's kind of sobering, man. It's like, oh, here we go, man. We're about about
You
a
haven't
50
freaked
to
out yet,
50.
have you?
No. I mean, I'm 50 days out from getting married, dude.
Yeah.
Like 50 days.
Oh, get this. Totally off topic. I'm sorry. I don't know if I should. No, I'll tell you after the show. Just remind me.
Okay.
It's personal. That's the reason why I have to wait until after
Oh
the show.
yeah, no. Okay. Yeah. No, totally. All right. So NASCAR was at Darlington. Darlington is known for its throwback weekends where you get the drivers, they come in and they pay homage to NASCAR's history by replicating either paint schemes from their past or paint schemes from NASCAR's past. Usually involving drivers that drove the same number, kind of a thing. Anyway, so Darlington is kind of like an egg shape, right? It's wider at one end and narrower at the other, as far as the turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's an old asphalt track. I mean, the pavement there is over 50 years old, right? Joey Logano, he yeah, he pulled a bitch move, man. Like he moved a guy. I mean, he moved William Byron, who drives a 24 car for Hendrick Motorsports. And yeah, I mean, William Byron's calling Joey Logano an idiot. Uh,
Yeah,
Logano's got
I was
strong
about to
words
read.
for
I was
him.
about to read that. I found one from Yahoo Sports. Leo Garo is an idiot. William Barn is a bully, and Kyle Birch plays the villain again.
Kyle Busch, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, last year in Darlington, Kyle Busch wrecked, and so he exceeded pit road speeds and turned into the garage area, running over some cones, almost hit a couple of spectators with a, you know, race car. This year, he avoids all the cones, parks his car at pit lane, and gets out and goes to his hauler to change clothes because he was done for the day, right? I mean, his car was trashed.
Mm-hmm.
And so his team is having to push his car over to the hauler to try to get it loaded up. And yeah, but
Dude sounds like I mean, I'm
okay. Regardless as to how I feel about Kyle Busch, I think the sport needed a personality like him. They needed somebody to hate. Okay. You've got your diehard Kyle Busch fans. I mean, we're part of the Rowdy Nation. I mean, fine.
Isn't your girlfriend part of that nation too that you have to like deal with?
No,
Oh, okay.
she doesn't watch racing.
Oh, I was
I'm
thinking
gonna
football.
take
I'm
her.
sorry. You
I'm
said
gonna take
Cowboys.
her. Yeah, I'm gonna take her to a NASCAR race, but we're gonna do it upright. We're gonna try to get a camper. We're gonna try to get some infield passes. Be
My dad
bad
came
week,
in.
bad week. What is up, Senior Dickerman?
Oh, Johnny says hi.
Hi, Johnny.
But yeah. So we're gonna try to do it upright. We're gonna try to take the whole weekend and go. And this, yeah, my screen is shaking because I'm bouncing my legs. But
Yeah.
see. Anyways, so we're gonna try to take the whole weekend. We're gonna try to get infield passes, get a parking spot in the infield, Texas Motor Speedway. Just that way we can watch the race in 360 degrees. I mean, you're just kind of immersed in that environment. Grill out, just kind of get torched all weekend, sober up, and then either leave out Sunday night or Monday morning. Just kind of depends on what my schedule looks like. But yeah, I want to get back to the track. I mean, I love baseball and I go as much as I can and I try to play as much as I can. And I mean, I'm kind of living vicariously through through my son. But it's
Hey,
speaking.
hold on real quick. Hey,
Yeah.
Dad, would you want to go to a NASCAR event? Texas Speedway when we get a chance. Yeah, make a day of it one of these weekends. I know that they're always on Saturday, right?
Well, the Xfinity races are usually on Saturdays, but the Cup races are always on Sundays. There's
Yeah, we can just do the Infinity race.
the NASCAR All Star race is a Saturday night event, and it's going to be in like a week and a half. There's no way we're going to get tickets for it.
No.
The next race is going to be in the for the playoffs, and that's going to be in like September.
Oh, okay, we can make that.
Yeah, we'll try to get tickets for that, but I mean, hell, even if we just show up and we meet at the track and we park in the normal people's, I say normal people, we park in the normal parking area, and then just kind of just sit in the bleachers or whatever. Fine, whatever. I don't care. I just want to get a scanner so that way I can listen to the radio traffic for the driver I want to listen to.
Yeah.
And just kind of make a day of it. I mean, literally, you could day drink all day long, and you could be sober by the time you get ready to go home.
No, I can believe that.
I've done it all but once. And the one time that I didn't do it, I started drinking at 6:30 when we got there. I had my carbs with breakfast. I mean, what can I say? Right? Kept drinking throughout the course of the day.
Keep
I
on
probably
talking.
killed.
Hold on real quick.
Oh, God. So while David is stepping away from the microphone and he can't hear what I'm saying, no, I'm not going to throw him under the bus like that. I'm just not going to do it. I'm getting soft in my old age, people. That's what it is. I'm getting soft. Because normally I'd throw him under the bus. I mean, I'd call him everything, but everything but a white man and a Christian. Oh, wait, here he comes. All right, quit talking about him. All right, I'll stop.
Okay. What?
Nothing. I was telling our faithful that as you're stepping away from the microphone, I guess I'm becoming soft in my old age because I would normally throw you under the bus and call you everything but a white man and a Christian, but I'm just not going to do that today.
Good, I guess.
Yeah, totally good. Because your inbox would have inevitably just kind of blown up.
I seriously doubt that, but okay.
That have been like, do you really like to do stuff like that? Or are you really into that? Or how many raccoons were you able to?
I would have fun with it. I mean, I am the patron saint of fuckery. So
the patron saint of.
Oh, by the way, everybody else I told that to fucking loves it.
Okay, fine.
You're just the oddball.
I am the oddball. I don't care because I've lived out my days of fuckery, dude.
I don't know.
I was a grunt. I was a grunt, and I was single for most of it. So
there's different fuckery to be had.
There's varying levels of
variations,
fuckery.
Yeah.
However, when you say fuckery, I'm talking about like pure debauchery, like the kind of thing that God salted Sodom for. So, I mean, he sent his angels down, and they were like, "Yeah, when you run out of the city, don't turn back and look." So what's his wife do? She turns back and looks, pillar of salt. And no, the gate swung one way. That's all. Anyway, do you need to attend to that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'll just forget about it later.
Yeah. But yeah, NASCAR, I mean, one of the I absolutely love the throwback weekends because we get to see like really cool interpretations of some of the more classic paint schemes out there. Trackhouse Racing, they have the one in the 99 cars, and they recreated the paint schemes that NASCAR ran in the only race that they ever ran in Japan for Dale Jr. Dale Sr.
I'm listening. Hold on. Dad, text me whatever. Okay. Because I'm listening him and you're telling me stuff that I'm not gonna remember. Yeah.
Go ahead and step away.
Okay.
I got this for about 5 or 10 minutes.
Black nylon bag.
Got a label maker in it.
Okay.
We're just going to sit here and listen.
Hey.
You know how important you are to me? You know what I'm not wearing right now? I'm not wearing socks. I'm not wearing regular shoes. So that's how important you are to me. Like now you're kicking me out of the fucking hat.
No.
I think I should start talking because we don't need to be privy to that part of the conversation. Oh, okay. So what can I fill our time with until David steps back up to the microphone? Oh, we're going to talk about some NFL news because yeah. All right. So the Giants released Bradbury after trying to trade their cornerback James Bradbury after 2 seasons. The news came after a week after the Giants manager Joe Schoen said that the team was likely to have to let go of the cornerback, and they expected Bradbury's fate to be decided within the next few days. So I mean, this was something that they had kind of seen coming. He was consistent and for New York for the 2 years that he was there, but with the previous GM, Dave Gettleman, he really overspent a lot, and it meant the Giants had to make they had to sacrifice a few other veteran players to offset costs, with Bradbury becoming the latest casualty. So basically, when they released this cornerback, New York was basically in effect trying to get underneath their salary cap, so that way they could afford to, pay everybody and still have room to sign some of their new rookies, maybe pick up a couple of free agents during the offseason.
But talking about that the New York Giants center back,
cornerback.
Yeah, cornerback.
Yeah, CB
was it
is
quarterback.
cornerback.
It's okay.
Cornerback.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I mean, New York is expected to sit over $7 million over the cap after signing its newest draft picks. So Bradbury's 28. So his value as a quality corner, it becomes secondary to cap space. So, I mean, and it just sucks that because when you're playing NFL style football, when you get up into your late 20s and early 30s, you really start to become undervalued because of the fact that they're looking at you like, well, you're old. Even though he's been only with them for 2 years, they're looking at him like he's old. So I think that he'll definitely get a job somewhere else, but I think it's going to be with a lower market team, and he's really not going to sign for the amount. He'll sign for the amount that he really doesn't want. So, and this is one of the things that I like about the NFL is the fact that they have a salary cap. I think Major League Baseball needs to follow that model. They need to give everybody a specific spending limit. Says, okay, here's this, and if you go over that, well, you're going to pay some serious fines. And if you continue,
don't they go over that anyways because they give them like bonuses or something like that, or they give them
the way that the language in the contracts is constructed is that it really, you're looking at what you make base salary per year, right? Signing bonuses are figured into that, and then performance bonuses are just considered exactly that. They're performance bonuses. So there's no guarantee that you're going to see X amount of snaps. There's no guarantee that you're going to have X amount of catches or receptions or whatever, I mean, and especially for cornerbacks, there's no guarantee that you're going to have X amount of interceptions, takeaways, broken up passes. I mean, there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to make those performance bonuses. So, it's, I mean, he is a starting corner. So him being able to find a job and one of these other teams that's now lacking somebody, lacking in that department, they're going to be able to sign him. I don't want to say on the cheap, but they'll be able to probably get him at a pretty good deal. So, that we have that. And then, I mean, they've been trying to avoid having to release him. They were hoping to make a trade for a cornerback and offload some of the money. But I mean, just having to just flat out release him, he was due $13.5 million this year. The team would have had to have otherwise figured out some kind of a workaround with their own cap issues, bearing in mind. So, most teams that knew that the position when New York was in and no trade materialized tells me a couple things. It tells me that they knew that if they were going to ask for a trade, they were going to ask for too much, and teams weren't willing to let that, happen. And then also too, by him being released, I mean, at the very minimum, New York saved like $11.5 million in cash and 10.1 million in cap space for the coming season. So they opened up some space to have some flexibility for, say, like a free agent, because New York, for all intents and purposes, they're kind of in the middle of yet again another rebuilding year. The problem with New York is that New York needs to find themselves a new quarterback. And the fact that I don't think that they're going to find one like the caliber of Eli Manning again for at least another 5 or 6 years. If they find one through free agency, fine, great, awesome. But I don't think they're going to be able to draft one with, any kind of consistency, any kind of, like franchise capability for a while. Probably look at, like I said, 4 or 5 years. Maybe the under is going to be like 3 or 4, but past that, I don't think a whole lot is going to be made of it. So, let's see here.
Hey, here's one. This is just a plug for stuff. But local TV meteorologist in Memphis sparks fury with racist comment about Warriors diamond green. Basically what he said on a Twitter, and I hate doing this. I hate like referencing Twitter, even though it's a news outlet now.
It's now a free speech zone.
Well, it's news. People are using it as a news outlet too. But Diamond Green runs his the slurred word that happened. We probably know what it is. All game long. All game long. But mild-mannered Kyle Anderson disputes one call and gets ejected. Solpick in a tweet that has since been deleted along with his account. It's not really an open world. He's probably gonna get fired, and it basically
I'm
it's
assuming that he's a white
idiot.
meteorologist.
Yeah, he's white. And it's not that he doesn't need to be saying stupid shit. He could have just nixed the slur word and did his point. But I don't know why people have to go.
But this is still okay.
Shit.
So this is the double standard. Okay. They say it, and it's part of our culture. It's part of our culture. No, it's not part of your culture. It's a derogatory term, regardless as to how you view it. It's always going to be a derogatory term, and it doesn't matter if you're white, black, Hispanic, freaking Asian. I don't care what ethnicity you hail from. That word should be taken off of the table. Yeah. And I think that the NFL, or that whether it's the NFL, Major League Baseball, the NBA, the freaking Dodgeball Confederation or whatever they call it. I don't care. If that word is uttered on the field of play or on the court, heavy fines need to be levied and an ejection, immediate ejection, needs to be handed out to that offending player.
Yeah.
So, and to me, get a handle on it. Oh, it's my free speech. No, it's not. Not with that word.
Yeah, it's like calling your kid like Hitler, or I mean,
Okay.
we've been going over
we
this
were to
for the
go
longest
around,
time.
if we were to go around and sit there and be like, "What's up, cracker?" People can be like, "Oh, look at them guys." If they can sit there and talk about Black pride, Black Lives Matter, but the second that we go around and we talk about white pride, white lives matter, we're racist. We're
Yeah.
racist somehow. They can sit there and they can commercialize. Let's call it what it is. They can commercialize the term that they use to describe each other. And they market it. It becomes part of their identity. The second somebody calls them out on it, that person's a racist. I don't understand that. And it's this is all part of that. There's no other way to describe it. It's a double standard. And it's one that needs to just cease to exist, because if it's wrong for one group of people to say it, it's wrong for every group of people to say it. It really is. It sucks that that word is out there. It really is. To me, it's a deplorable word. I don't like hearing it. I don't like using it. In fact, I don't use it. I don't. Whether it's with the ER or the A on the end of it, I don't care. I don't like using it. I don't like to hear it. And to me, it just kind of comes off as ignorant. And then if you use it as part of your vernacular because you're either too lazy or you're incapable of expanding your vocabulary, then educate yourself. Demonstrate to the rest of the world. Demonstrate to your own people, if we're going to go down that road. Demonstrate to everybody around you, in and out of your own world, that you have a brain that is being used for something besides keeping your ears apart. It's an ignorant word. And a majority of the time when it's being used by African Americans or Black people, when it's being used by that section of American society, it's usually used in terms of aggression, intimidation, or insult. Very rarely will they use that as a term of endearment. And even when it's used as a term of endearment, I find that absolutely deplorable. It's beyond the level of heinousness, because I'm like, that'd be like me coming up to you, be like, "What's up, Whitey?"
Yeah.
That's gonna make me sound redneck as fuck, dude. Fuck that.
We're more intelligent than that bullshit.
We want to talk about how far society has come and everything like that. We're not going to get into the numbers about how there's, more black on black crime than there is on white on black crime or black on white crime. But a majority of it is black on black.
Yeah.
They spend so much time ignoring the fact that they tear each other down. They want to focus on other races and demonize them. And that's what, so that way we can sit there and kind of recede back into our shells, make them, and kind of adopt this inferiority complex. Because why? Ancestors from 200 years ago that you had no knowledge of may or may not have been owned. And let's not forget the fact that a majority of American white households today have no ancestral ties to the slave owners in colonial America.
Yeah.
So before I get too far into the weeds in this whole geopolitical, social economic rant about the N word, I would propose that the major governing bodies for these different sports organizations make that word outlawed.
Yeah.
And if it's used, if it's used at all, whether in your social media or while you're wearing the uniform, you get a fine and a suspension. And then you got to attend sensitivity training.
Yeah.
I hate it when governing bodies do that. Oh, you got to go to sensitivity training. Okay, go to sensitivity training. Yeah, it's an inconvenience and it is a complete and total pain in the ass. But why don't you use your time that you're being suspended without pay, just the tiniest bit more constructively? Get this whole sensitivity training knocked out, pay your fine, and then you can get reinstated after your time is up.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
in
and I will guarantee you this much. And I don't mean to step on your toes here. I don't mean to walk
no, that's
over
all
you.
right.
Guarantee you this much. If the governing bodies and the rules committees and the competition committees instituted that kind of a rule, you would see a culture change start to affect itself within those individual organizations.
That is true. A lot of times it just takes a little bit of uh like saying, "Hey, we're wiping this out of the fucking history books."
See, okay. I don't agree with erasing history. You can't erase something that has happened. You can't go, yeah, we're knocking down all these statues and we're going to go in here, we're going to edit this history book. That didn't make it unhappen. The Holocaust isn't going to unhappen by the German, I mean, it's not going to unhappen.
Yeah.
No matter how hard you want to try, how much you want to deny that it happened. We have got scores of historical documentation that proves that it happened. But it's one of those situations where we're not trying to erase history. We're not trying to rewrite history. We're trying to affect a change. We're trying to affect a change for the future. We can acknowledge the fact that we've got a jacked up, dark ass history. It's human beings owning other human beings of one color selling their own people into slavery.
Yeah, it's basically it's
and
all
as much
cultures that have done
yeah,
it, and there's still cultures that still do it.
Yeah, there's still people that still do it, but we're not gonna. I mean, this whole let's just whitewash history and no, because if you remove it from the history books, somebody's going to get the idea later on down the road that this is a good idea, and it's going to happen again, because people who don't learn from history are doomed to what?
Repeat it. Yep.
Thank you very much. So just I think that these governing bodies, they need to step up and they need to say, okay, look, we're all about racial equality. If certain players aren't allowed to utter certain words, like if a white NBA player said that word, not only would he get his ass kicked on the court, but he would get suspended indefinitely until he was, certified racially, what's the word I'm looking for? Acceptable.
Yeah.
Or socially acceptable. But it's okay for the black players to sit there and just scream that word at the top of their lungs 100 times during the course of a game. That is a double standard that should not be there. Do not ask somebody else to do something that you would not be willing to do yourself. Pure, plain, and simple. Okay, now, so we're going to take a step back from that. I think that we need to go ahead and change gears here. So, what I'm going to do, I am going to give my son a call.
Well, I was gonna while you do that, there was a the
What's
UFC.
up, dude? Where are you at? Are you outside? Oh, okay. So, all right. So, let me give you. Are you ready? Do you have your joke?
Yes.
All right. So, give me just a second. I'm going to give you your intro here. All right. Hold on. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're taking a step back from the social, economic, geopolitical discussions involving sports and certain words of the vocabulary that need to be erased. And we're going to take a time to step back, relax, and enjoy the musings of Joke Time with Colin. All right, bud, there you go.
My wife asked me to pass her lip balm. Instead, I gave her super glue. By my mistake, she's still not talking to me.
Oh,
I don't know if that's a
man.
mistake. Don't know if that's a mistake.
Dude, I admire your brazeness and your boldness and well, just the size of the cojones that you've been blessed with genetically. But you got to start picking what jokes you can say around your mom and what jokes you can't.
I'm with him on this one. That was a good joke.
Right. Do I need to let you go, guy?
Yeah.
All right. I love you, bud. Later.
Hopefully, it doesn't get yelled at too much.
Oh my God.
Anyways,
Oh, my wife asked
they
me to hand her lip balm, so I handed her super glue. By my mistake, she's still not talking to me.
That's funny.
Oh wow.
But this weekend was the UFC 274. Dude, Michael Chandler knocking out Tony Ferguson.
Mhm.
Man, second round, he just threw a kick just at the right time, the right moment, and his face was right there, and he was out fucking cold.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched the video of him getting knocked out. Sent him a friend of mine sent me it, and he just lays in. It's like just kicks it right, gets everything, gets the form right and everything. It was just a beautiful kick. And he just
Yeah.
knocks him out. They did like different angles and everything, and I'm like, who cares about the angles? It's just the one that actually matters. He just
Yeah. I'm just like sitting there going, oof.
yeah.
That's rough, bro.
That's
mean-
one thing I want to get back into watching again is UFC fights. I just haven't had the people around me that would enjoy it with me.
Yeah. I mean,
Because there's people that when they watch it and they talk about other bullshit that doesn't even matter about the fights and everything like that. I wouldn't mind going
Right.
to a UFC fight too. That would be entertaining. I love
yeah, the Charles Oliveira submission in the first round. Ooh. Ooh, quickness, right? Yeah.
yeah.
It was like 3 minutes and 22 seconds into the first round. Right. I'm sitting going, damn. But let me see here. The women's fight, the strawweight, Rose Numanas versus Carla Esparza. Um Carla Esparza, she was coming in as the challenger. And they went the distance all 5 rounds and she got the decision and she's the new, so I'm like, all right, cool. But yeah, Michael Chandler with the knockout in the second round, 17 seconds into the second round. I'm like, damn. Let me see if I can find. I want to find the video for that. Let me see here. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let me see if I can get the video to come up. Damn. Let me watch that again because that happened way too quick.
Which one? What are you watching? Just
The Chandler knockout. Oh, damn.
told
He
you.
caught that fool on the chin.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that is so sick.
He just pop, and he just threw that kick. And if you're not actually a martial artist and don't understand how he got, I mean, you have to get that height. It's kind of difficult to get that kind of height and everything like that. Most kicks lose their power at that height, and he just threw it. It was just a beautiful kick that he did, and he just
That is just straight up
he
disrespectful.
hit the power button on that man and just straight out knocked him out.
All right, let me see here. I want to look to see Charles Oliveira wins big. Carlos Esparza gets her belt back. All right, so this is an ESPN. I don't want to watch an ESPN video. Yeah, no, Michael Chandler. I mean, he's taking aim at Nate Diaz. He wants a shot at Nate Diaz.
And
Like, I'm like,
I
all
haven't
right.
I haven't got into
I want to see that fight. I do. I want to see that fight.
Well, I haven't gotten into if he deserves that fight or anything like that because I've been lazing out and not watching UFC or and everything like that. So
Yeah, I
and
mean,
what
Tony
got
Ferguson.
me back in was one of the people that I played Division 2 with he was watching the fight. I was like, what's happening? Yeah, it's one of those things. Once you watch it, you get back into it.
Yeah,
I used to love UFC, man. It's just one of those things you just can't buy the pay-per-views every fucking month.
oh, dude, no. All right, so Tony Ferguson, the guy that got knocked out, he
Mhm.
tweeted out. He says, "Congratulations to Mike Chandler on his victory at UFC 274. Had lots of fun in there. You fans are fucking wild. I love this shit. Feels good to be back and hungry again. We were just getting started. Best of luck in your next fight, champ. Hashtag for the love of the game." I mean, to me, I mean, that's fucking mad respect, right? I mean, and usually, and then Michael Chandler tweeted out because if you don't love Tony Ferguson, you're not an MMA fan. Proud to compete against you. And it's like, dude, they respect each other on such a high level.
Yeah, a lot of them nowadays, you get that respect. I mean, there's some of them out there that do way too much of the chatterbox, but you got when it comes around to it, I mean, I talked to God, man, what's his name? Uh Fucking I'm so sad that I don't remember it.
Well,
Chuck Liddell. I
Chandler
talked to
used his post fight interview. He wants a piece of Conor McGregor. I'm like, I
everybody
don't
wants
know.
that shit.
See, I think that's just a payday fight, though, man. I really do.
It probably is. He's like, but I talked to Chuck Liddell about that stuff when I did an event, or I went to go to an event. And I talked to him. I was like, is it always like when you go out and you're going to the competitors? I mean, I've done like Ollie and everything like that. Looked at the backstory of that stuff and a lot of. Do y'all like hate each other? Or is that just show on? He's like some of the people it's show and some of the people you just fake it and then after you're done with the fight you go have a beer.
Yeah. Okay. So Nate Diaz, he tweeted, "Just for the record, I choke Oliveira easy." Right. Michael Chandler chimes in. He goes, "Hey Nate, shut up and stop complaining. Keep your mouth shut. Keep your head down until your daddy books a fight for you to get your sacrificial dome bounced off the canvas again. maybe it'll be me. If you're lucky, see you at the top. Right? I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Fuel that fire. Feed that shit. Just fucking start stoking that fucking
That's what I
fire.
love about. I love the trash talk. I just love the trash talk.
But I mean, and then Rose Namajunas. Anyway, the woman who lost her fight. She was like, yeah, she's in her post fight interview. She's like, I won that fight. But like, how? I mean, the judges scored it the other way. So, you know, I don't know.
Well, I don't.
But
There's a lot of speculation with the scoring on that because they're using boxing scoring, but with kicks, and they're adding kicks and holds, and they should have their own like scorecard type deal instead of using boxing a little bit more.
yeah, I don't know. But it's funny listening to Joe Rogan talk about how, like, he talks about like all the fighting confederations for boxing, the WBC, I mean, just just the bevy of them, right? He's like, really the only belt that really anybody pays attention to and respects is the Ring magazine belt, right? Because that's the old belt. I mean, that's the original one, right? And you got all these different boxing confederations comes in, and they all want their belt. They want their heavyweight title, they want their welterweight, they want their lightweight, they want their cruiserweight, and I mean, they even want their super heavyweights, right? So I'm just like, yeah. But he says that, like, with MMA, with the UFC, he said that he would really like to see more weight classes because there's been a lot of talk going back and forth and a lot of studies done that these guys that they normally would fight better if they fought heavier are having to cut weight and fight at that weight. And how you cut weight is you just, like, you dehydrate yourself. And that's linked to, like, CTE, traumatic brain injuries and
Mm-hmm.
concussions, right? Because you don't have any fluid in your head to cushion your brain. So you
That
take a
makes
shot
sense.
to the head, I
Or
mean, you're
it's
giving your,
less than fuel fluid in your brain.
yeah. So I mean, if your brain's dehydrated, it's bouncing around in your skull, it's bruising, it's dangerous. So I mean, and you would see a lot more of opportunities for these guys and girls, a lot, these world class elite fighters to be able to fight at their ideal weight.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I didn't know enough about fighting, with like the UFC, the different weight classes and whatever. But listening to Joe and his show, the way that I've been listening to it more often now, is I'm starting to kind of like come around to his methodology, his ideas, his ways of thinking as far as fighting is concerned. Because he, like I said, he used to kickbox before he did stand up,
Yeah.
and so I mean, yeah, the guy smokes weed like crazy. I don't really care, but it, you know, he does it. He's got his reasons for it. Was it aids his creativity? It helps with pain and recovery. Yeah, fine, whatever. That's not what's up for debate here. It's we're talking about the different weight classes in MMA, and I think that MMA as a whole would benefit from having those additional weight classes. Because you're not going to have a guy that normally would fight at like maybe 205. Now he's got to cut weight to make 170, and he just dehydrates the fuck out of himself. And now he's got his brain that's all dehydrated, and he's not making the best decisions, and he bobs when he should weave, and he catches a heel to the forehead, and boom, he's got a concussion, and he's out for fucking 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't. I mean, the sport's brutal and it's dangerous. You could get fucking killed doing it, but it's like let's not add to the percentages there. Let's be a little bit smarter about it. So I don't know. Well, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, they're constantly evolving the way that this sport is broken up into categories as far as weight classes and fighters and rules and things of that nature. So I mean, because like up to even a year ago or 2 years ago, 3 years ago, there was no standardized uniform. Now everybody's wearing the standardized Reebok gear whenever they're going into fight.
Yeah, they
know?
used to. I mean, who was it that wore the gis? The
Yeah, like the Taekwondo guys and
no, the Brazilian
oh
jiu-jitsu.
yeah, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Yeah, they were just talking about that on this week's episode.
I know, and I just totally forgot. And Gracie,
Yeah, Gracie.
the
Yeah, dude,
Gracies.
I want to find some of these videos, man, because like these videos were shot like because like jiu-jitsu now is just kind of like Joe was saying, it's kind of a unified house now. So I mean, but there's still back in the day, like in the 70s, 80s, and even into the 90s, there was all these different factions that were like, oh, my style of jiu-jitsu is better than yours. And like they would walk into each other's dojos. He was calling them dojo wars. Like dudes would walk into other dudes' dojos and talk shit and just to pick a fight.
Yeah,
Well, Gracie was trying to film these videos and he basically helped found the UFC, and the UFC became a infomercial for Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So I'm like, okay, I'm seeing this. I'm picking it up what he's putting down. I'm tracking, right? But I mean,
they
want
didn't
to
start
go
using
out there.
clubs until like Tank Abbott.
Yeah, I mean, because there were some guys out there that were doing bare knuckle stuff, and
Yeah, they
but
were.
I
It
think,
was more or less,
and that
bare-knuckle
was
until,
like
Tank
early,
Abbott. He wore gloves.
early stuff, like pride
Yeah,
fighting stuff like that. But
the early stuff, it was fucking brutal.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, absolutely. And then Dana White comes in, tries to help clean it up, and kind of gets it more mainstreamed. And I'm like, all right, okay, but I think too, I sitting down and I don't want to like boxing, man. I don't know, man. Boxing to me, boxing is just boring, dude. Because and don't get me wrong, there's some hardcore dedicated boxers that they prescribe to that discipline like it's a religion.
Yeah,
I mean, they will straight talk shit to you if you talk shit about. I mean, they'll try to whoop your ass if you talk shit about boxing.
I mean, it happened recently.
But here's the
Tyson.
thing. Well, here's the thing. You get a mid-grade to elite level wrestler in front of a boxer. Boxers, they're going to have to try to figure out how to keep away.
Yeah,
That wrestler gets you to the ground, it will fuck you up.
yeah.
And wrestling's not even like an offensive type thing, It's about throws and holds. It's a grappling thing, right? So I think boxing, you need boxing as a good stand-up kind of a thing. But definitely you have to have, I mean, to be considered what even to be considered mid-level or elite as a fighter, I think that you would need at least 3, maybe if not 4 different disciplines at your disposal. Whether it be, whether it be Krav Maga, jiu-jitsu, taekwondo,
Well, I think
boxing,
actually, I think
Muay
only
Thai.
two. I think only really two, because Muay Thai, you do fist, elbows, and knees and kicks, and jujitsu, you get the rolls and everything like that. I mean, you get a little bit. You're right. I mean, you have to have boxing. Just get your arms worked up and everything. You have to have a little bit of boxing, a little bit of Muay Thai, and some jujitsu. for the grappling and everything. But there's not. I was like that one Conor McGregor fight that he ended up first bit of the round.
Floyd Mayweather. Yeah.
Well, no,
dude.
not even that. It was a fight, and he did something really weird. He used his shoulder. Nobody uses their shoulder as a fighting technique except for like kung fu. And he just laid his shoulder into the guy, knocked him out. I mean, he surprised him and everything. I wonder if Jeet Kune Do would actually Jeet Kune Do mixed with a little jujitsu, would that be a better bet? It's really hard to tell with those types of things, doing fights and everything, because there's so much variety of what you learn in certain. It's like someone coming up to tell you, it's like, oh, I am a master at Aikido. I can take on anybody. And I would look at them and like, dude, get the fuck off.
Right.
Because Aikido is only good for people that are actually sword fighting. If he's coming out with you for a sword, that whole fucking martial arts is literally geared for you to take out somebody with a sword.
Right.
And it has a little bit of good takedowns and everything, but you have to, man, I had this one guy, he was like, I know Aikido, I'm a master of it, because he was an idiot. And he goes after me, and he goes up, throws a punch, I go in, swoop his arm, and spin him around, grab the arm like this, push him to the ground, and he was done. He was fucking done. And it's all because he thought he could do these really cool things, and it's just practice. And you literally have to. Martial arts is the only sport, if you do not throw down with another person and spar with them, you are gonna, one, you're gonna lose a lot, and two, you're not gonna be good. You're gonna know all this shit, but you're not gonna be good.
Yeah.
Like I had another person that thought he could throw down with me, and he put me in a headlock and bashed me into a car. What did I do? Grabbed his thumb, pulled it out, grabbed his eyeball, put him in a wing, pushed him down to the ground, gave him a couple of road burns with the gravel, and he was done for the day. But he was one of those people. He thought he was big and tough because he like knocked somebody out once.
Yeah. I try to avoid fighting at all costs, man, just simply due to the fact that I know my body's beat the fuck down, bro. And I'm getting too old to be doing that shit anyway.
Yeah,
You know?
I had good reasons.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but shit, I don't know, man. Maybe I am getting soft in my old age. Fuck, I don't know.
Probably. I guess that's the end of the episode, really.
Yeah,
We're at 56.
we are. Hey, I want to go over the NBA real quick, just kind of give a rundown for the scores.
All right, you go do that. I gotta get some nasal spray.
Naval spray? What? Okay. Right now, Celtics are trailing 16-21. Milwaukee actually leads that series 2-1. Grizzlies, they're down 2-1 in their series. Tomorrow night, where we're going to see Philadelphia and the Heat. Both games tomorrow night are a game 5. So Philadelphia and Miami are tied at 2 apiece, and the Mavericks have tied their series up with the Phoenix Suns at 2 games apiece. So, yeah, it's. I mean, they're still talking about Luka Doncic and Booker from Phoenix being the players to watch in that. Talking about Embed from Philadelphia and Butler from Miami being the guys to watch in their series. So, I mean, I think the Mavericks are giving the Suns a run for their money. There was that one guy that said Phoenix in 7. That was just because he was too lazy to actually make a bold call, So I'm still taking the Mavericks in that one. But I don't think it's possible. I mean, they could probably go 6 games. So it just really kind of depends on how hard they come out at firing after tomorrow night. So we'll see what happens. They've got to win tomorrow night. That's pure, plain and simple in order to take the series lead. But all that being said, yeah, I think that's it, man. We got our joke from Colin. Oh, dude, last week, my boy comes in. Um, he strikes out his first at bat, which I'm like, all right, okay, it's gonna happen. And then his second at bat, I mean, he was working a full count, and he hits a ball over the third baseman's head, and it lands foul by like 3 or 4 inches. Right. The next swing, he kind of turns on this pitch, and this ball launches up into the air, dude. And I've been legitimately thinking I'm gonna have to go to the fucking ATM and get him $100 after this swing. He missed hitting a home run by about 5 feet.
Oh, damn.
I mean, dude, the left fielder was backing up, trailing it with his glove the whole time. He eventually took his hat off and threw his hat at the fucking ball while it was in the air. Yeah. Now, by the rule, that's a ground rule triple. That's by the rule.
Huh.
But and then the next inning, the coach wanted me to get Colin warmed up, and Colin went in and pitched. He did walk 2 batters, but he struck out 2, and he got an assist at the with the put out at first.
Nice.
So, and I mean, I'm going out there. I'm getting him warmed up, right? And then comes time for him to get onto the mound, and I go out there to help him get it warmed up while the catcher's getting his gear on. And I hear the other kids the kids in the other dugout. They're like, "Is he throwing sidearm? Is he a sidearm pitcher?" And you hear the coaches over there going, "Strike zone still the same, guy. Strike zone still the same." Colin, I don't think he was doing it intentionally, and if he was, hey, great, that's scary. But he was changing. He was changing eye level on the hitters. I mean, he would pitch them high, he'd pitch them low, and then he'd pitch them right in the middle, right? And there was some guys that were really disciplined, and they just didn't swing at anything that didn't come close, right?
Yeah.
But he was getting some swings and misses, got a couple of fouls. Both of his strike threes were called looking. I mean, they just stood there and stared as it right down the middle. And the way his delivery was the other night when he was delivering it sidearm, dude, those I'd be hard pressed to think that those balls were not coming back across the back corner of the plate. Like, if Colin were to take the time and to like genuinely dedicate hours of his week to getting better at pitching, getting better at tracking a ball, getting better at hitting, dude, there is no reason why that kid couldn't be, getting asked to play for travel teams. I'm just like sitting there, like, just he doesn't lift weights, he doesn't work out, but he has got some like crazy strength. I've got him doing his long toss program where, we work on arm strength and velocity so that way he can make good, solid strikes from the outfield. And, bro, man, that dude can chuck a ball. I'm sitting there going, okay, all right. And I don't want to push him too far out because, I'm like I said, he's only 13. I don't want to blow his arm out, but
Yeah, it would be kind of bad. You have to have surgery by the time you're 18.
yeah. And that's just the thing too, man. I'm so scared of him overusing his arm because you start seeing these kids that just, they have so much talent and so much love for the game that all of a sudden it's taken away from them because they have to have surgery on their elbow.
Yeah.
But yeah,
56.
56, man. God. Where's the time going? Yikes. Official countdown here. Hold on. 50 days, 17 hours. Well, okay. 50 days, 15 hours, 56 minutes, and about 55 seconds. So I'm looking at an 11 o'clock wedding. So 50 days from now.
Okay.
Or as
Well-
we like to say in the military, 49 days and a wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm David Dickerman, your patron saint of fuckery.
And I'm the man without a title, Johnny Skelton.
Thank you for watching Nerd Sports, episode 56.
Victory!
Yeah, episode 56. Ha!